Good morning, everybody. Welcome to BigK Crypto. Well, morning to wherever you are in the world. Today's video, I'm going to kind of be going over today what has actually been going on with ETH Capital and where I believe people are going wrong with how they're seeing it, right? And kind of like all other smart contract stuff related, kind of like a news bulletin. Right? I'm your anchor man, right? So anyway, guys, let's get into it. Obviously, the usual disclaimer applies. I'm not your financial advisor. Do not take this as financial advice. These are just my own opinions, thoughts, and experiences. So with that out of the way, now the first bit of smart contract news, right, that I'm going to bring to you is we have been dropping in Ethereum Capital and Ethereum Gold. I guess, guys, I'm going to probably swap between both these faces. Just make sure that you understand that these are both the same thing, right? They're just different faces. The only reason I'm going to kind of show this every now and again is because I know a lot of you still are quite used to this, and because you've obviously been following my journey with this, so it will kind of help correlate certain things. Now, as you can see, guys, we were at, where were we recently? A couple of days ago. We were at 10,000, almost 11,000 Ethereum in the contract, and we now are at 7,450. And I've seen a couple of comments on my videos. I've seen a couple of comments generally, okay, in various forms or another. And people are panicking. People are starting to stress out and think, oh shit, what am I doing? Should I get out? What, my ETH is now worth less, and, yada, 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 right? Now, as I said to you before, when we kind of dropped from that 17,500 to the 14,000 mark, or no, sorry, the 11,000 mark, it was a don't panic moment. And now even more so, okay? Your amount of tokens, your amount of ETH, and in fact, let's go here so you guys can see, what I like to put in inverted commas, real money, right? In real figures, that you still have the same amount of credits or gold tokens that you had before. The amount of Ethereum that you invested in this in the first place hasn't changed. And I have to keep reiterating that fact. You invested 5, 10, 20, 35, whatever it is, Ethereum into this, and that hasn't changed. Yes, of course, the value of Ethereum, goes up and down, and unless you've been living under a rock, you know that Ethereum's gone up, which has been great, but you haven't been losing Ethereum, and that's the way you've got to kind of, first of all, really see this, okay? The second thing is something that I've been mentioning along the whole journey of me making these videos, and I think now is the best time to kind of mention it again and prove the point, is the lower the Ethereum in the contract goes, the bigger of the share of the pie you're going to be receiving, because you own X amount of gold tokens in comparison to how much is in the contract. And as this is dropping and people are selling, what are you getting? Dividends. Now, granted, I know a lot of you jumped in on this pump, when we were at 3,000, 7,000, 10,000, 15,000. And you saw that price appreciation skyrocket very, very quickly. And then you're thinking, yeah, but hold on. Now this is dropping and we're going down the opposite way. I'm not seeing that same kind of speed in the appreciation of my investment in terms of dividends, as opposed to how much my gold tokens were worth, okay? Or how much your Ethereum credits were worth. And no, of course not. All right, that's just the way that goes. But you have to understand something. These numbers, they go up and down, but your dividends is always just going to go up. This is the money. This is what you're banking on. This is why Ethereum Capital was a whole new face to this whole operation, because it gives everybody the focus of what they're actually making and how they're making it, and why this is, and I still say it today, I'm not going to change this, the safest investment for your cryptocurrency. Now, if you're starting to panic because this total client's capital was at 3.5 million and now it's at 2.3 million, right? Then you're focusing on the wrong thing. Either that, or you're just kind of not thinking long term, which is the worst thing you can do with this, because this is, like I've always said, a long-term investment. If you want to make money in the short term, you want to make money on pump and dumps, or you just want to make money quickly, then maybe you should explore other options, right? Like trading or hypes or whatever, right? I'm not going to tell you what to do. But this is the long-term investment. I'm not fretting. I'm not freaking out that this was worth 12,000 the other day and now it's worth 10,000. Why? Because I know where we're going. Look, if people freaked out who are at the top here when we were down here and sold, they lost out. But the ones that held true, the ones with strong hands, guys, when they got to the top of this point, they were laughing. Same thing goes here. The ones that bought in at the very top of this peak and didn't hold strong, had weak hands and sold as it started going down, in comparison to the ones that held strong, now are laughing. Right? Why? Because this is all about cycles. You're going to get cycles. You're going to get moments of massive, price appreciation, and you're going to get moments of the opposite. You're going to get moments of people just taking their Ethereum out. Now, people are taking their Ethereum out for a few reasons, right? The one, I guess, one of the reasons is they're freaking out, they're panicking. It's a psychological sale. They're seeing the numbers go down, or again, if we look back at the gold site, if they if they're used to seeing this at 15,000, now they're seeing at 7,000, they're shitting bricks. So they're like, oh, you know what? Let me get out. Let me get the money that I've already made on that appreciation and get out. And there's no sell shaming. If you want to do that, you can. And if you do, thank you for the dividends. All right, and that's my point. If they're panicking and they're selling out, and you're going to panic, maybe then you should sell, because that means you're not in this for the long term. But again, there is no sell shaming here. You can do what you guys like. You are the master of your own mouse. Now, another reason why people are selling is because, well, Ethereum's gone up, right? Ethereum was $240 a month ago, or whatever it was. Now it's around the $320 mark, right? So people have made their money just on that, and so they're taking out profits. For me, I had made my ROI, so I took out half of my dividends. I took out 4. Why? Because, well, I had things to pay for. All right, I'd made that money, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to throw some of that money back in at a later stage. When I do, I'll let you know. But the point is, people are going to take profits. If they've made profits, if they made their ROI or whatever, they're going to want to take their money out. So rounding up, there are really a multitude amount of reasons why people are selling, but that's just part of the cycles. That's what this thing's all about. Let's go back to this again, because I like the chart here. This was a cycle, right? Even though it doesn't look like much, trust me, it was a cycle. This was a cycle. This was a cycle. This is another cycle. Now, if this is the last cycle to go by, I can't even wait to see what that next cycle is going to be like. And the people that are holding strong, the people that are not selling their Ethereum credits or their Ethereum gold, whatever, they're the ones that are going to benefit out of this. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, well, hold on, what about that black bank ETH thing that I mentioned yesterday? I did a quick video on, which was this. Yeah, maybe some people sold some of their profits from here to get into this. And if they did, great. There was a huge pump in this, and a lot of people made money, like me as well. But remember, I want to reiterate to you guys now, so you understand, I did not touch any of my Ethereum credits or anything in here to go into this. Because why? I've told you before, and I'll tell you again, I'm 100% behind this thing. I'm not leaving this. Yeah. What I did when I went into this was just some spare free, Ethereum that I just had in one of my mobile wallets. So I jumped in and I made that money. I actually took that out, and now whatever's just left in here is free money. Okay. And wherever this goes, it goes. I don't care. And yeah, this is a verified contract, I guess, but this is only, well, I'm not going to talk about this too much because it's not really about that, but it isn't this is something that's been going on for 3 years. All right, it hasn't just been a pump and dump, let's get in, make money and go out type of thing. This is fully verified, of course, as we know. It's independently audited, and it's gone through hackathons, right? The developer in this is his baby. This is a family unit, right? There's the strength behind this is, I mean, there's no comparison to this, right? That's basically what I'm saying. The only reason why I did a video on this yesterday was to say, well, look, the price is cheap. If you can't afford, or you don't, you want to wait till this kind of drops a little bit, and you want to get into something that's a bit cheaper, or you just want to diversify your investments, you want to get into something else. If you believe that this is going to be a pump and dump or whatever you think, then, this could be an opportunity to do so. But I do not advise you leaving this to go into that, right? That's like my caveat. That's why I wanted to bring up that black gold Ethereum, whatever it is, right? This is, for me right now, it's just a free money machine, and that's the way it's going to stay. Now, if this pumps up even more, brilliant. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm making dividends, and that's that. But this thing, guys, is the monster. This is the thing that is, the long-term play. So guys, now what can you do from here? Where can you go from here? I think is what you're thinking now. Do you pump in more money? You've got dividends. Do you put the dividends back in? Do you wait until you find a kind of bottom to do that? Now, there are different ways of handling this. There are different ways you can do. And I've got my own ways, right? So yeah, guys, the end game here really is to accumulate as many Ethereum credits as you can, right? The more Ethereum credits you have, the more share of the dividends you're going to be receiving. So right now we've had a bit of this dump, we've been having this sell-off. I'm going to want to reinvest. My strategies change, obviously, depending on where we are in the contract, but for now, I'm going to be reinvesting. Is this the right way? Is this something you should do? Well, I'm not going to tell you. Why? Because I'm not your financial advisor. But for me, right now, it makes sense to reinvest. So I'm going to kind of show you how to do this because I actually haven't done this in a video for you guys yet. So what I'm going to do now, as you can see, we've got the withdraw and the reinvest button on the Ethereum Capital site. So all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to hit the word reinvest. Now, bear in mind, guys, it's going to reinvest all of my dividends that I have here. You can see that it says a total amount of 0.00897, which is $2.86. And you're going to think, well, hold on a minute. I'm reinvesting 1.039, right? Yeah, that's just the way the gas is working, right? It's the fees on reinvesting. So don't worry about that. It doesn't matter that this is saying 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of speed it up for now, just for the sake of the video. Click save, and I'm going to confirm. Now, watch what's going to happen. When that actually works, I'm at 3,295 credits. So while that's happening in the background, guys, oh, there we go, confirmed transaction. My order is confirmed, and there we go, look, 3,379 now. All my numbers have zeroed out, of course. And now the amount of dividends that I'm going to get is going to be even more. Okay, because why? I have a bigger share of the pie, especially in comparison to the amount of capital that's in the contract. Now, if we just quickly move over to the Ethereum Gold side, just to show you that whatever happens on capital happens on gold, look, this is back at 3379 now. All of these numbers are zeroed out. So this is my plan, guys. This is my plan that I'm going to be doing all the way down, right? Now, have we reached the bottom? I don't know. Are we going to go lower? I don't know. Maybe we might go down to 2 million. Maybe we might go down to 1.5 million. But I don't care. I'm not going to sweat it. My point is that whatever I put in this in the first place is safe. No matter how long it's going to take for this to, slowly keep dumping or to then turn around and give us a pump. Okay, it could be any time. It could be a week, a month, 6 months. Who cares? When that does, I'm going to have more tokens. And then I'm going to be working on price appreciation. So that's where this really shines. Like we said again, guys, if we look at the chart, the ones that, even if they bought right at the top here and they're weighted, I think also I want to put a message to you guys that, got in at this quite late. And you're now starting to panic. Oh, crap, my value of what I put in is going down. It's going down. Look, relax. You now have Ethereum credits. You have your skin in the game. You're going to be collecting dividends on the way down. You can then keep reinvesting them. Okay. So everyone has a different thing. Some people like to do, every time they've got half an Ethereum, they'll reinvest it. Some people like to do it every, whatever. But the idea is you can keep reinvesting now and increasing your Ethereum credits and taking advantage of the fact that the client's capital is going down. And that way you're going to be banking more and more dividends. So when we hit that next cycle and when we hit that next pump, you'll be thanking me. All right. I hope some of you are wise enough to kind of listen to that. I think that is it, guys. I think a couple of points that I want to kind of finish on is, don't worry if you start seeing people jump into new shiny things. For example, for me, again, let me reiterate, when I got into this yesterday, it had nothing to do with anything that I had in Ethereum Capital. I did not take anything out of Ethereum Capital to go into this. It was just some spare Ethereum that I actually had. All right. But if you see people going into this or into the next smart contract or into the next step, they're always going to come back to this. This is what happened last year. And it happened with me last year, right? I was in this. I was in Gandhiji last year. And I jumped from that to that to that to that. Now, I was fortunate enough to kind of stop at a wise point, and I was actually up by the end of it. But that means, in comparison to what I would have made by staying into this, again, we look at the chart, I had bought roughly around here. If I had stayed in from that point onwards, which was only October last year, which was about 8-9 months ago, right now, would be a different story, right? So, the moral of the story is, If you see new things and you want to diversify, I get it. If some of you want to diversify and you want to go into other things, do it, but don't take out of this. That's my humble opinion. That's my thoughts on it. Take it how you will and do what you want at the end of the day, but that's what I believe. But people always come back to this. Why? Because this isn't going anywhere. If you look at things like last year, the black chip, red chip, you know, all the different chips, right? Like, you know, Ace chip or whatever it was, Ace Daps, you know, myself included, I jumped from one thing to another. And if I just stayed in here, I would have been much better off. And look, I came back. And that's what, you know, is going to keep happening. That's what always happens. The other thing is, this thing has one of the strongest communities that I have seen. They've got the Discord, they've got the Telegram, and it is literally like a big family, right? So for anything to succeed, I believe, in the crypto space, it's got to have that as a base. And that is something that they do, right? Sonny, the developer, as I keep mentioning, is always around. He's always talking to anybody that needs help or assisting people in Discord and Telegram as well as all the admin, right? Like Craig and everyone else. So yeah, guys, I think that's it. I'm going to round it up there. Just to summarize, I haven't touched any of this, right? Apart from the fact now I've just reinvested, which means I'm going to get a bigger share of the pie. I am not sweating that the contract is, you know, hitting a sell-off at the moment. I'm not concentrating on the fact that it's dumping and people are leaving. And if they want to leave, they can. It's just all about now making dividends for doing nothing and just being in the contract. And when we hit the next cycle, things are going to be even brighter. So if you've got any questions, guys, if you've got any comments, put them down below. I'll be happy to try and get back to you as soon as I can. And don't forget to subscribe, like, all that kind of jazz. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Don't forget to keep getting that cheddar. Cheers.